Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Jedi. Today, we're going to look at the top 10 of the weirdest and interesting facts about the Titanic. So let's go. Number one, we have lifeboats. So a lot of you guys know that only like 20 lifeboats made out, and even in that, there was like only like a few that actually reached shore. And you guys be asking like, why? Like, was Titanic like not enough? Did it not have enough space to hold like more? It was actually equipped to hold 64 lifeboats, and if they actually had all 64 instead of just the 20, they would have been able to save a lot more. And this is just facts because they would have more lifeboats. But the thing is, they just weren't equipped with them because one, back in the olden days, the whole like required amount of the lifeboats that you had to take in for a boat was actually measured by the ton. So there's like a certain amount of tons where if you cross that amount of tons, then you don't have to like take there's like a cap for the amount of lifeboats. So it's 20 lifeboats when you cross a certain amount of tons. So the Titanic was clearly like way bigger than that. So then like they didn't really account for the fact that the Titanic was going to take like a lot of people. So they just kind of like thought of Titanic as like another ship that was just taking like like another ship that was just a little bit bigger. So then that way the Titanic got away with just taking 20 boats. And then the reason that they did that's because it actually saves more like weight. So then the Titanic would move faster. And then the captain actually wanted to reach there like really fast because they wanted to be the fastest and the biggest and the safest boat to ever reach like over the sea. So then that's why the captain actually did that, where he just like said, you know what, we're gonna just throw 20 boats on there, we'll be fine, it's unsinkable anyway. So a little bit of overconfidence played with it, but they could have taken 64 boats, but they only took 20 boats. All right, so number two is that we all know that the iceberg hit Titanic, and then it started flooding, and then just the water just came upstairs and just boom, the whole sink was or the whole ship sunk. But the whole iceberg like collision thing, there's actually 6 signs. So I'm not gonna get into all 6 signs because it's like various different signs. But there's actually like 6 warnings that the captain actually knew that there was gonna be an iceberg. Some of them include like the fact that their path was actually like filled with like more icebergs, but they wanted to go there because again they wanted to get there faster, so that they thought they could dodge it. Number two, before they could even look, they didn't even have any binoculars because before somebody messed up, so they never had binoculars. So that was another warning that they should have like went through. But there's so many more warnings. There's actually 6 warnings that you could have counted that the iceberg was actually going to hit. And even after the iceberg hit, there's even more warnings that the ship is flooding, but people are just like, you know what, it's fine, the bottom block gets sunk, what's going to happen? And then whole overconfidence thing kind of just blew over. So this entire like video is going to be a lot about overconfidence. So how all of our videos usually have like one word or one theme that just follows. This one's a lot about overconfidence. Guilty as charged. I'm very overconfident too. So if you guys are watching this and you're usually like a very overconfident person, this is probably the best example to not be overconfident. So we know Titanic was really big, and it was really like built, and then its real name was actually Titanic Belfast, and it was really fast, and it was really strong, and it was really luxurious too. Like you could live like the people that were there were super luxurious. So now we're gonna talk about a little bit more about the movie that's gonna start now. So then the thing is, the actual Titanic only cost $7.5 million to build like in that time, but now it would be like $175 million. But then the movie itself actually grossed like $200 million. So the movie itself actually made more money than Titanic actually cost to build. So it's super weird, because if they spent a little bit more money on Titanic by providing more lifeboats and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people would have been alive. And but the thing is, like, if the Titanic actually like succeeded and it was actually perfect, we wouldn't have a movie about it. We still would, but it wouldn't be as popular. But so there's a movie now, and they made $200 million. So it's just crazy how life can throw things around. So I'm gonna guess that a lot of you guys know what smokestacks are. They're like the huge pole things that are like on top of the Titanic. And so in the movie and like in real life, you can see that there's actually 4 there's 4 smokestacks, but only 3 of them worked. And this doesn't really help like the whole sinking. I'm sure it would have helped in some way. I'm not gonna get that deep. into the whole like sinking thing. But there's only 3 smokestacks that actually worked, and one of them was just there to like make it look pretty, so then like, you know, it doesn't look kind of weird and like off shape. So that's why they had 4 smokestacks. And here going again, they were so overconfident that they started focusing on making it look pretty rather than actually making it look safe, because they're like, oh, it's unsinkable, what's gonna happen? So just to make it pretty, they had an extra smokestack, but they couldn't take extra lifeboats. So the whole Titanic sinking, it actually looks like it took a long time to sink. Like when people were watching the movie, like of course it was sped up because it's a movie, but a lot of people thought or still think that the Titanic actually took like a really long time to sink. Like the people that I usually ask think that it took about 6 to 7 hours, which is reasonable considering the fact that it's a really big ship, so it take a long time. But it actually just sunk in half that time, in 3 hours. So within 3 hours, that the Titanic's like first couple like rows, like it's like first couple levels got flooded, and then you know, in the movie you can see that the Titanic went straight head up and then snapped in half and boom, just sank. But the Titanic actually just took 3 hours to sink. So even though it was really big, it was pretty like, it was reasonably fast, which like couldn't help the people in any way because they didn't have enough time to react. So it was only 3 hours before the entire ship just went under the sea. All right, this is gonna like kind of tie up the lifeboat talk a little bit more. So only 30% of the people survived. It's really sad because of the fact that it's such a big ship, and then, you know, they spent all that time to make it look pretty and make it look luxurious, that, you know, they just couldn't have any lifeboats. And if they actually took care of the whole lifeboat situation, they would have actually been able to save about 55% of the people, which is a huge jump. And, you know, super sad again, but they didn't have any lifeboats. So if you guys ever build any boats, make sure you guys have enough lifeboats to save everybody on board. Next up was that Titanic had a huge variety of like wine. So just wine, they had like 1,000 different types of wine, and they had like a lot, and Titanic was really known for the wine. And in the movie too, you can see like a bunch of racks of wine, and it was super luxurious because everybody who traveled there, like the high class people, actually had like a lot of wine, and they could just drink whenever they wanted. And it was like it helped them too, because at the end when it was sinking, people who survived said that a lot of people were actually just drinking the wine and just like chugging it down and just trying to like keep up with the fear. So yeah, they had 1,000 different like bottles of wine. I just want to throw that out as like a quick fun fact, so we don't just make the whole video sad. So 13 couples actually spent their honeymoon on the Titanic, and there's actually one couple that actually made it alive, and they didn't confirm it yet, but one of the ladies there actually made it, and she was pregnant a few weeks later. So they don't know if that was because it was on Titanic, so that could be a Titanic baby, but they didn't confirm it, so we're not sure. But there's actually 13 couples on the Titanic, and they all they all like, you know, went on it as like, you know, the Titanic's maiden voyage to New York. But we all know how that ended. So the Titanic, right, it's still underwater, and a lot of you guys might be thinking like, come on man, like it's a huge artifact, so why can't you just bring it up and, you know, preserve it? The sad truth is we really can't, because there's 3 main reasons. Number one is that if you were to like graphically move the Titanic in any way, that could break off some of the pieces, and it would like, you know, it wouldn't be like the best idea to actually like, you know, put it together after that. And number 2 is that actually like disturbing it would like cause some harm, because it's like rusted, and transportation, like transporting it back, so it's gonna be really hard. But the main point is it's just really darn heavy. So then, like, you know, it's super heavy, and it's super hard to actually carry the Titanic because of its weight. So there's no like viable way to actually be able to like carry the Titanic out of the water and onto shore. So the last fact is actually the amount of builders that it took to build the Titanic. It actually took 3,000 men to work on the Titanic. And one of the things that was actually a huge downside to the Titanic was the fact that some of these men were actually like not skilled. And this sometimes, some people say that it's actually an opinion, some people say that it's not an opinion. So remember, everything I say in the video is, you know, my opinion with a few facts. So I personally believe that some of the workers were not the best talented, because like considering the fact that if you look at all like the workers' documents, some of them, you know, like they said that they were like, you know, a restaurant worker and stuff like that. So Titanic needed to build like a huge ship with on like a cheap budget, so they could like spend more time making it luxurious and spend more money on that. So some of the workers, you know, they might have messed up the whole formatting of the ship a little bit. Could that have really stopped the whole Titanic from shrinking? Probably not. Or yeah, sinking, probably not. But could that have, you know, helped it, made it make it a little bit longer to give people more time? Yeah. But at the end of the day, the Titanic sank, and can't really do anything about that. But one thing you guys can do is definitely
like the video, share the video, and subscribe.
Yeah, you guys can do that. So make sure you guys do that. And Instagram, guys, super important. Go and follow me on Instagram at jedi.solomon, right? At jedi.solomon. It'll be in the description. Copy that, paste on Instagram. Go follow me there, guys. Tell me anything you want to see. And on Instagram, you guys can just DM me straight. I'll respond to everybody, I promise. Give me like, you know, I'm not gonna respond to you like within a minute, but if I do, you know, that's probably because I'm on. But give me like a good 24 hours. I will respond to you. I will respond to everybody. I promise. Okay. So definitely go DM me there. Give me some ideas. Tell me some stuff you want to see, and also, you know, take it easy, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.